Hey there, everyone. Figured I'd give you a progress update as to where I'm at with future build 1090. Last weekend, I restructured all the XAML building blocks that make up each of the UI elements that are available within the theme creator. And then last night, I was basically collapsing the code within the UI element slash properties window, just to streamline the code, standardize some of the properties and what you can do, with some of these properties now. So. Yep, I'll show those off right now. So let's see. I've got 1090 and the current build out on the forum. And as you can see, the current build on the forum and the 1090 version. So the new version, or the future build version, 200+K smaller. So obviously the exercise I performed last night was worth it. Let's see. I'm going to take a theme from here. I'm going to copy it into 1090. Let me just double check. No. All right, so I want to take pyramids and paste it here. All right, so pyramids is now in both versions. So let's see. Using the build that's out on the forum, I'm in pyramids and I'm going to publish. All right. And go into themes. Here's pyramids. Okay. And now I'll open up 1090. And I'll publish. Whoops. Hello. I don't want this one. It began with a P. What can I say? I had to pick the one with a large quantity of custom images. All right. I just don't want to wait around for that. All right. Pyramids. All right. I'll launch and publish. All right, cool. Okay, so we have two versions of pyramids. And I'll open up the old one here. And let me open up another instance of the themes folder. And we got the new one. All right. So you can clearly see the views are a lot smaller for the code generated via 1090. So yeah, I can pick one here. Actually, let me go for one of the big ones. This one, Horizontal Wheel 2 Games. Okay. So let's open this one. Let's close all these windows. All right, cool. Let's try that again. Here's the new one. And let's open up the old one. All right, 1090. And I thought, oh yeah, it gives you a line count. What am I doing? Lines 2,541. and 3,355. So big difference. Okay. In the current build, there's a properties section where I'm defining X and Y and border, font size. I think all of that stuff is all being calculated here. And then they're referenced further down in the code. Well, all this is gone. Yeah, that's all gone. Goes straight into the UI elements. So, big difference. Big difference. It just makes it a lot easier now to actually see what it's doing if you were interested to see what each of the UI elements are actually up to. But anyway, yeah, huge reduction. It's a good thing. Anywho, all right, let's go on to 1090. And we're not going to go with pyramids. We'll go with plain and simple. Because I had actually made some changes to this using the 1090 build. At one point, I think I was demonstrating how you can embed these UI elements in a stack panel, left and right, and reduce or eliminate an awful lot of animations. Yeah, that's right. So initially I had fade in, fade out animations applied to each one of these. Okay, so as you switch between different platforms, it would fade out and then fade in as you selected a new platform. Well, because as you can see, these data items are now contained within a stack panel, I only need to put the animation on the stack panel itself, and by default, as you fade out and fade in, it will fade out and fade in the children. Okay, so that's what the last progress update had kind of covered. But now, because I've restructured the XAML behind each one of these UI elements, you can now do some fairly fun stuff. So the detail panel on the right hand side here, so for example, here's our parent container. It's a stack panel, and again, I haven't embedded the new adorner logic yet, so the placement of this fake adorner is out of whack. That's going to be the next thing. All right, but anyway, what's interesting here is so we have the metadata for the platform manufacturer, and because I have docked it within inside a stack panel, the X and Y coordinates are no longer applicable. So for example, when I click on a parent and the parent has no parent, you have the X and Y. When I click on a child within that parent, there is no X and Y. You now have margin settings. Okay, so I've set it up to say the manufacturer metadata field. Let's just see manufacturer metadata. Yep. Let's see. There is no space between it and its label, but if I wanted to, I could simply say, actually, let's make it a little bit more drastic than 5. There you go. So as you can see, Panasonic and its associated label, there's now a margin of 15. And I could also say, hey, you know what? I want a space of 15 after this data item as well, if I wanted to, which I don't. But also, what is interesting, what I've utilized here finally is I've checked auto size. So even though I've set a width of this UI element, as you can see here, even though its placement is wrong, it's essentially ignoring that and just simply saying the data item, the height is auto-sized. So if I uncheck and check, you can see the spacing between the metadata field and the label change. All right. So what's nice about this, as you can see, is you have a nice, neat stack of UI elements with even spacing. So for all the label headings, I said, you know, I want a spacing of 8 for each one. Okay. And then for the parent itself, I said I want to center it vertically. Now I could place all the items at the top like so. You can place them at the bottom. I don't know what stretch would do in this case, but I had it set to center. So that's the beautiful thing about this, is that you obviously, as you move the parent around, and again, this is a build where I haven't added the adorner logic and whatnot. So if I force the code to regenerate, as you can see, as I move the parent, it moved the children. And I'll just simply move it back. There you go. All right. So, and everything's perfectly aligned and perfectly spaced. And I didn't use that technique over here, but I have another view where I didn't have margins in the margin property in place before. Now I do. So I can edit this here. So what I did, I added this fake text field that would put a space between this area and the scroll text, and I'll demonstrate that. So if I delete this text field, which I called spacer, now you can see it's butting right up against the previous stacked UI element. So what we can do, and also if you notice, it's using the full width here, as opposed to, you can see a space on the left hand side. So we can alter that. So when I go down to text scroller, first thing I want to do is to add some kind of spacing in between the ESRB and the scroll text itself. And then the other thing I wish to do is to, I don't know what the spacing is going to be, so I'll just hazard a guess and make it 10. All right. And we want it to be even, so I'll do 10 from the right. Okay. Not sure if I like that. And I think this is where I need padding. Let's try a width of, I've never tried this, clearly. Yeah, it doesn't like auto size on this one. Interesting. Okay, well, for now, looks like I need to revisit the building block behind scroll text here. But I think the other way I can do it here is just simply, I don't know, reduce 20. and then do 10. Is that about right? Something like that. Or is it because I've got it centered? I've got it blocked. All right. Actually, I think it's okay. I really shouldn't be paying attention to this adorner or fake adorner. There's nothing wrong with this at all. It's just with this is just throwing me off because this is going to get replaced with the new technique anyway. All right, so spacing is now, yeah, there you go. See, that's perfect. I should have just ignored my adorner. It doesn't work on children at the moment. All right, so yeah, as you can see, I've added a nice space here using margin control. And like I said, I can keep it at 15 if I want to do something like that. Just save it. And what's really cool, just as with all the other UI elements, they're scaled. So the spacing, as you can see, is proportional, suggesting based on the size of the view, scaling. So that was something I did this morning, and then changed the code generator to use the new scaling method for margin. So yeah, I was very happy about that. Yeah, it's really cool. Let's see, what else did I get up to? Oh yeah, so as far as this is concerned, this whole window here, where I eliminated about 2,000 lines of code, it was all down to of course, this is a bad example here. Doesn't have a lot. Let me go into a non-text-based wheel. Yeah. All right. And so I selected wheel, and as you can see, we have this whole slew of sliders and text boxes and all this kind of stuff. So because I threw these kind of sliders in at the last minute a couple of builds ago, it ultimately meant I had a lot of repetitive code, okay, and I didn't want that. So I created my own user control, and I just refer to it once, and then I can deploy it many times and pass in the different properties and the minimum and maximum and all this kind of good stuff. So I was able to centralize this, and also you can use scroll wheel. So yeah, it's up to you. But anyway, I figured if I'm building a user control for this, I might as well add scroll wheel support, which is what I did. So yeah, that's essentially it. It was really to add margin support within these UI elements when docked within a parent control, and change the way in which views are built for your published theme, leveraging a different set of techniques, reducing the number of lines of code, and just optimizing it just that little bit better. And the same goes with the theme creator. So my plan for the coming week is to get back into the whole Adorner. Do I still have the test app? I do. So get back into all of this again. So that there's two parts to that. The hit test. So as I hover over an item, and then when I actually click on an item, it will put this adorner around it. That's part one, and then part two is actually the resizing, repositioning using this adorner. So I'm going to tackle the first step, which is basically the hover and hit testing of a UI element within the editor, and then basically take it from there. Because this is still going to take a while. But the hit test is obviously done, as you can clearly see within this test application. So I just need to take this logic as it stands and essentially kind of swap out the old and replace with the new, which will be kind of exciting to demonstrate either next weekend or the weekend after. But yeah, anyway, that's it. I just wanted to give you an update on where I'm at with 1090. I've been busy with that, and if you've been following the set of updates on the forum, I put out at least 3-4 different fixes for various reasons, which are documented in the forum anyway. But yeah, give it another week or 2 weeks, and I'll put out another progress update. But yeah, that's where we currently stand. All right, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks. All right, stay safe.